Hello, my name is Gloria Mantooth, and I'm here with.
I'm Stevie's Boler, and I served in the Air Force for 5 years and served in the Air Force Reserves for about 16 years, for a total of 21 years in the military. I recently retired. Well, I can't say recently, it's actually been a few years. I retired from the Air Force Reserves.
Wonderful. Well, as we talked before, this project preserves the stories of local African American veterans whose service and lives helped shape the families of our community. Before we begin, I'd like to confirm again that you would sign the release granting Unsung Heroes Living History Project, a 501(c)(3) nonprofit organization, permission to record and use this interview as outlined in the uh, release form.
Hmm.
I have your permission to proceed.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, please tell us a little bit about yourself and your life before you joined the military.
Well, before I joined the military, I was very familiar with military life because of my father being an enlisted man in the military for several years. Traveled to several parts of the country. Really enjoyed the moves and everything. I got so used to traveling that it was hard to, you know, be settled. But now I am, and I kind of like that as well. Yeah.
All right. Well, you told us in the previous interview that your father did encourage you to enlist in the military through his legacy and that he felt that that was a good life.
Hmm.
So, is that what motivated you to join, or did you have your own reasons?
Yeah, I think I had my own reasons. As I was kind of growing up there in Lompoc, California, um, I saw that there were very limited opportunities in that area.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to do something else, and I thought about going back to Alabama. And then it kind of dawned on me, well, why don't I just join the military and get out of here? I started talking to a recruiter, and he convinced me maybe that's a good thing to do. And after a while, I said, well, yeah, I'm going with that. And I did.
Okay. So, what were your first days in boot camp like?
Boot camp, it was tough. It was really tough. They didn't make it easy for you because you have to adjust to to people telling you what to do.
Mhm.
And I wasn't too used to that. And I thought I was going to get myself in a lot of trouble because I didn't want to obey something. But I came around. I came around. I followed a good program after a while. Didn't take much for me to get it together. Just the TI getting in my face and letting me know what was going to happen to me. And I said, I think he can probably follow through on all that stuff he said. I better I better get it right. Yeah.
So, what was your military occupation or specialty? Did you choose it or was it assigned?
Actually, it was a sign, okay, because I had a whole different idea. But they gave me a job in what was called fuels distribution operation systems, and I worked in the flight line refueling, the hydrant systems, and I stayed with that for all of the time that I was in the active duty, and then when I went into the reserves, I was in the Air Terminal Operations Center, and I worked there. And I also started doing some other things, some lateral duties, which I really enjoyed because in the lateral duties, they allowed me to become a leadership development facilitator. where I had the opportunity to travel to several different bases and teach NCOs how to become better leaders, you know. And I enjoyed that thoroughly. I even look forward to going on those trips, you know. It was exciting.
And so where were you stationed that stands out the most? Which places stand out the most for you?
Well, in the Air Force Reserves, or are you talking about active duty?
Well, both,
Okay, well,
both.
active duty, I did have a tour at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, and I loved that. I really did like that. Also had tour of duty at Edwards Air Force Base in California, and I really enjoyed that as well. That was a great learning experience, and you know, from Edwards I retired, and then I went into the reserves, and at the in the reserves I went to Norton Air Force Base, and later on when that base closed, they moved us to March Field, March Air Force Base. Okay, so I stayed there until well until I retired from March Air Force Base.
Mhm.
Okay, I actually worked as a civilian too at Norton Air Force Base until it closed up. Yeah.
What did a typical day look like for you?
For me, I know when I did the leadership development training, those were the best days because I got an opportunity to meet a lot of people, and I worked with some top-notch people, you know, who trained well and knew the job and everything. I learned good life experiences and everything. Um, actually think I grew in wisdom by participating in that because in these leadership development classes, there was opportunity to share a lot of knowledge, and we opened it up for everybody to kind of really share their experiences, you know, and it's like a community of learning. It was just a tremendous, field.
Wonderful. Nice.
Mhm.
And who was someone that you served with that you remember the most?
Well, my good friend Lee Weary. I'll never forget him. He was also the best man in my wedding. Uh, quite a fella. Yeah, I think that he retired, went back to Alabama, and he told me that he was going to get into the funeral business. I don't know whether he did or not, but I hope it went well with him. Yeah.
And how did you stay connected with family when you were away?
Well, that was always, you know, I guess not a great thing with me. I didn't stay in touch with people that well. Okay, so my mother would probably push the issue a little bit more, and she'd get in contact with me. You know, she always said, "Don't let me have to call the Red Cross to find you." Know, but she'd make a way to get a hold of me some kind of way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm. Did you experience challenges related to race during your service?
Um, to tell you the truth, not much. Not much. Uh, most of the things, most of the people, I think, had come around by then and realized that we were here. We're not going anywhere,
Mhm.
you know. Um, I think we all got along pretty well with each other, to tell you the truth. They had these social action groups, you know, and they would send people to these classes, and they pretty much oriented everybody the right way, I think. I think the society itself could learn from the military and how to do this. Yeah.
Did the military provide a sense of unity or brotherhood that felt different from civilian life?
Yes, it did. I got to admit, you do feel a camaraderie, a kinship that you don't really feel anywhere else. Yeah. You know that your life depends upon each other too, and that makes a big difference. Everybody has to know what they're supposed to do, and you may have to step in at any time. Yeah.
And so when you transitioned away from military life, and that's also including your time that you were in the reserves, um, was that difficult, or were you able to find work and go on?
Hmm. Yeah. The transition was not very hard for me. As a matter of fact, when I got out of the military, uh, things just opened up. Jobs were available. You know, um, I worked first of all at Los Angeles International Airport. In aviation, and it just opened up for me. And then later on, I transitioned over to the government, working at Norton Air Force Base, and I retired. I can't say retired. Actually, I just stayed there until the base closed up. They were going to send us to another location. I didn't really want to leave California though, so I just decided to separate. Yeah.
And how do you think the military service changed you as a person?
I think it changed me in the sense of purpose and focus in life. You know, uh, you don't have time to waste. You have to keep moving on. You know, and it kept me, I think, focused. Yeah.
So, what are you most proud of from your time in the military?
What I'm proud of is the fact that I was able to serve and I was able to fulfill what I believe God assigned me to do. That's what I'm proud of. You know, I think I did a good job. I think that well, I retired, um, and and now I'm receiving funds from that. I kind of enjoy that. Um, so I'm proud of that. That I did a good job. I think
And what advice would you give to a young family member considering military service today?
I absolutely would advise a person to go to the military. I would. I would. Yeah. But I would have to remind them that it could cost you everything. Okay? And you have to love your country just that much. That's what I would tell them. But yeah, I recommend it though.
All right. Well, how would you like your service to be remembered by future generations?
Well, I would just like for folk to remember that I did the best that I could do. All right? I didn't play around. Uh, you know, whatever I was asked to do, I gave it 100%. That's what I'd like for people to remember.
Is there anything you'd like to add before we close?
Hmm. Well, I would just like to say, maybe I'm going off script here, but I will say this much: God's hand has led me all the way. Today, I pastor a church in Los Angeles, California, in the heart of the city. And I've been there laboring for 33 years. And I'm grateful for what God has done. I think everything that he put together has been good for me. I wouldn't change a thing. All right.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's very important. And I'm glad that you went off script, but you really didn't go off script.
Okay.
This is about your life and your service and what the military provided for you to step fully into,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, what God had planned for you. That's
Absolutely.
beautiful. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you, Stevie, for sharing your story with us today. Your service and experience are an important part of our community's history, and we are honored to help preserve them for future generations.
Well,
Thank
thank you so much for allowing me to spend this time with you. I've enjoyed it. Be blessed.
Hello, my name is Gloria Mantooth, and I am here with
Stevie's Bowler, and
and
I
Deborah
am,
Boler, sister, brother, and sister.
yeah. And I just wanted to say I'm very happy to be with you and spend this time together. I want you to know I'm the son of Percy and Jesse Boler. My father was a military man,
Mm-hmm.
uh, served for many years. First started in the Army, and
Mm-hmm.
then he switched over to the Air Force.
Yeah.
I later on went into the Air Force as well. I
Mm-hmm.
served 4 years in the Air Force, and then I moved into the Air Force Reserves,
Yeah.
where I did retire after about a total of 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
oh, beautiful, wonderful. Well, we want to thank you for your service by interviewing you and learning your story, by documenting and preserving your story for future generations to come, to know that you were here and you contributed. This project is being sponsored by the Santa Maria Lompoc branch of the NAACP, C4 Lompoc Collective Cultures Creating Change, the Fund for Santa Barbara, the Shumash Indians, Joan Hartman, 3rd District Santa Barbara County Supervisor, and many other local organizations. So before we
Very nice.
begin, I'd like to ask if you'd be signing the waiver granting Unsung Heroes Living History Project, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, the right to use this interview as detailed on the release.
Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. So we will proceed. Today, I'd like to talk to you about your father and his military service. There are no right or wrong answers, just whatever you remember, whatever you feel, or were told growing up. If there's
Hmm.
something you don't remember, that's okay. Just take your time.
Hmm.
Let's
Okay.
start with his early life. What was he doing before he joined the military?
Well, before he joined the military, he was like everybody else going to school and everything, but he wanted to go in rather early.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think documents were signed where he could go in at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After
So,
high school?
yeah, after high school. Yeah.
Mhm.
He actually went in somewhere close around about 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Dad was brought up in Mississippi. So, I mean, back in those days, if you can imagine, he was ready to get away from there and get out on his own. So,
Mhm,
and the
mhm,
military definitely was the way, I think, for a lot of us back in those days.
mhm. Did he have any siblings, brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Yes, he had
Yes.
brothers and sisters, and I'm not too familiar with uh, his brothers, though.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a chance to meet many of the family members who were living in Mississippi at the time, and most of them were educators,
Yeah. Teachers.
um,
Mm-hmm.
taught at colleges and universities,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that his great grandfather was the founder of the Boler High School in Mississippi.
Mississippi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Quite a family legacy there.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
So, do you know how the family reacted when he decided to join the military?
I think that his mother was rather relieved.
Our grandmother.
Yeah, she was kind of glad that he was going into something that was steady.
Yeah.
And
And I
from what
remember,
you were,
oh, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I remember growing up in the household, there in Lompoc. Um, Military was like the way to go. He wanted all of us to go in, and Steve thankfully went in. I worked at Vandenberg Air Force
Hmm.
Base as a civilian, a student aide, and then a civilian. But yeah, Dad definitely wanted all of us to go in.
Did he have any other family members that went in? Do you
Um,
know?
on my dad's side of the family,
Hmm.
probably so. My dad wasn't
Hmm.
extremely close with his family because, like Steve said, he left at 16, and then he was out traveling in the world. Turkey, where
Yeah,
else was he stationed?
Korea.
Korea. He was everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
Okay.
Vietnam.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay,
So
we'll
most
get to
likely.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hmm.
from what you were told, well, sounds like he was just ready to get out of Mississippi, basically.
That's true.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
got
Hmm.
it. Did he ever share any stories about boot camp or training?
I recall um, some of the stories about the overseas.
Mm-hmm.
He would talk about the people there and everything, and how well received we were as black people in some of these other countries. He talked about that,
Mhm.
and well, that's pretty much what I remember.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he felt prepared when he went into the military when he first joined?
Oh, absolutely.
Probably
Yeah, he
so.
was
Yes.
very skilled at what he was tasked to do.
Mm-hmm.
Worked in communications,
Yes.
and boy, was he very good at it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe too good.
Do you remember on Third Street? I don't even know if I could say this.
Yeah, I know.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. He was able to hook lines up and tap into a lot of things that probably uh, were confidential. Just an interesting man
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
his abilities, the way he was able to do that.
And
We
so
had
you
phone
said
lines
he
on
was
Third
in
Street.
you said he was in communications,
Right.
and
Hmm.
as did he talk about places where he was stationed and where he traveled to?
Absolutely, we traveled a lot. A lot of times we went to different bases located in the United States. And then, of course, there were many times where he was on temporary duty assignment, or he was tasked to go to various countries. That happened a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as if he was gone a lot of
A
times.
lot.
Um, Sometimes 2 years
Mm-hmm.
at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the family moved quite a bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Seemed like at that time they didn't let you stay at a particular base too long.
Like they
You would
do
stay
today.
around about half a year sometime, and maybe a year and a half or something, and then you'd be headed somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think because he was in the field of communication and what he had to do, a lot of it top secret, he had to travel a lot. So I
Mhm.
remember as a little girl, him being gone, like Steve said, over a year, and then being so excited when he would come back.
Yeah.
So
Mhm. And so, what do you recall any of the bases that you can tell me, or the places?
Yeah, there were.
Turkey.
Well, one base that I definitely remember was Sewell Air
Mm,
Force Base,
mm-hmm.
and then there was
And that was where?
Sewell Air Force Base. I think that was somewhere in the South. I
Oh,
think maybe Tennessee or something. I'm
I'm
not sure.
yeah.
I think it may have been Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
or Montgomery. I know we were stationed in Montgomery somewhere there. Fort Rucker was the base that he was at too.
That's where he met my mother.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was born at
Mm-hmm.
Fort Rucker as well.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, Offutt Air Force Base. I
Yeah.
remember that one especially.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see.
Well, there was Turkey,
Yeah, he went to Turkey. He
Vietnam.
went to Korea.
Mm-hmm.
He went
Mm-hmm.
to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he went to some of the Arabian countries as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. And based on what he shared, what do you think a typical day was like for him in uniform?
He seemed to have loved the military. And a day for him tended to be a pretty long day because they worked at that time long hours. Um, it wasn't like a 9 to 5 type of thing. Sometimes they would go in and work 12-hour shifts, stuff like that. So a lot of long hours, and then there were many days where he was off as well.
Mhm.
You know, yeah.
Mhm.
So they balanced it pretty good, I think. You
Mhm.
know, times of work and times of rest and relaxation. Yeah.
Mhm. Did he talk about friends or people that he met along the way that he stayed in contact with or that meant a lot to him?
Yeah, my father was very social and
Very.
had many, many friends.
Yeah.
He just gathered friends quite easily.
Hmm.
And some of them, I guess they stayed in contact with each other, even though they went separate ways and all of that. He's pretty good about reconnecting with people. I
Hmm.
remember when we used to travel across the country. Uh, at that time, they didn't let us stay in the hotels, and so he had already mapped out every place that he was going to stay
Hmm.
as we traveled from one base to another. He had already lined it up with old friends that he had met in the military, and that's how we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So how did your family stay connected with him while he was TDY or away for years?
Now, like I said, he was in communications, so he was able some kind of way to make a call through.
Yeah.
I don't know what he used,
There.
but
Yeah.
he did stuff that the average person couldn't seem to do.
Hmm.
Okay, so he would be able to get these lines going where he could talk to you from anywhere.
Hmm. And letters. He wrote
Letters
them on
too, by the
letters
way.
too.
Yeah, yeah, letters.
Hmm.
Mhm. Do you still have any items that remind you of his service?
I do have that one phone connection thing. I keep that, as kind of like a just a remembrance of him.
Hmm.
I
Mhm.
keep that. I don't know how it's used to tell you the truth, but I do keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It,
we also have awards and pictures.
yeah.
They're in my garage. They were with my mother. Lots of pictures and awards that my dad won. And one memory that I remember, and you should have remembered. Remember, we had to get out of school. I
Hmm.
was just in maybe second or third grade. We had to go out to the base as a family and take a picture because my dad won an award, and it
Right.
was something he had written, and I have to find that picture, but it was my mother in her favorite wig. I remember it, my
Hmm.
dad, and he's got this emblem in his hand, and then my brothers. And we all
Right.
went out to the base to take a picture because he won some type of award at
Yeah,
Valor.
he could be quite a gifted writer.
Oh, yeah. Very smart man.
Crafted words. He was a wordsmith.
Mm-hmm.
Knew very well how to put things together, and
Mm-hmm.
so he won an award for this
It's an article.
article that he put together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great to see that if you can come
I
up
would
with that
Hmm.
definitely
and,
look for it. Mm-hmm.
bring that uh for the honorary dinner and share it.
Okay.
That'd be great. Did your father ever talk about difficult or unfair experiences while he was in the military that he faced?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes,
There
Stevie and
was
Deborah.
some difficulty at that time at Georgia Air Force Base.
Mm.
Mm.
We were stationed there, and I think there was also some difficulty at I think Sewell.
Mm.
Yeah, he talked about that.
Is that when he lost a couple stripes or something?
uh,
Or do you know about that?
yeah, it might have been connected with some of that activity.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was not too radical or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but he was sensitive to injustice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spoke up for himself.
yeah,
Yeah. Did he ever describe the military as a place where he felt teamwork and where he felt that he belonged?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he enjoyed the camaraderie
Mm-hmm.
that military people seem to have with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that meant a lot to him.
Yeah. And as the youngest in the family, that was the career path that he told me that I should take. He told everybody, but that's what you want to do.
Hmm.
Go in the military, they'll pay for your education, you'll travel, you'll learn a lot, and then when you retire, you're set. What he always used to say.
Hmm.
Were there leaders or role models that he admired during his service that you know of in the military?
Well, yes. There was a chief master sergeant. I can't even think of his name right now, but he really liked that fella, and I did too, by the way, because he treated me like I was a son too. And I can't think of his name right now, unfortunately, but he really stood out. Yeah,
Okay.
he was chief master sergeant,
Oh,
great guy,
oh, wow.
and he actually liked Kennedy as president, and he really liked Johnson even more. He used to always say with Johnson, we may not ever get one in there like who's the one of us,
Hmm.
but we sure got somebody in there for us. That's the way he said it.
Okay.
Wish you could have seen Barack.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, what do you remember about his transition back to civilian life? I mean, he did quite a bit of time. What did he do
Mhm.
after the military when he retired from there?
After the military, he was fortunate to get a job with the post office.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He also worked with the field of education because I had student loans, and he used to always tell me, "Don't stress about those student loans. When you cannot pay, you just get a deferment." Because he
Mhm.
worked somewhere when he
Hmm.
first went back to Omaha. He left Vandenberg. My parents
Yeah.
separated, and so I think it wasn't it education first, and then he went to the post office, and
Yeah.
that's where he
Okay. Yeah.
retired as a civilian. But
Hmm.
he did work for the government in the education field,
Hmm.
and it was managed the student loans.
Okay. And do you think that the military changed him as a person? I mean, he went in so young, but
Hmm.
what do,
Yeah.
what do you think the military gave to him as a person? Just,
Yeah. I think that the military gave him discipline,
Mm-hmm. I'd say that.
and
Yeah.
well, he kind of instilled that discipline in us as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And what,
remember. And
go
my
ahead.
dad used to be in the backyard with his boots or in the
Hmm.
den, and
Yeah.
he'd shine those boots. He would watch the news or sports. He'd have his boots lined up and he'd be shining them. Do you remember that black
Yeah.
little round thing and had the black? He shined his boots like
Yeah.
weekly. That was so
Yeah. That's
important to
true.
him. And
Yeah.
I remember that as a little kid, my dad being in the den or outside in the backyard, boots
Hmm.
lined up and shining those boots so they were ready to go.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I
What do
think.
you think? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking the military also gave him pretty good work ethic. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, he wanted to make sure that we were always working,
Mm-hmm.
doing something
Mm-hmm.
to be productive. You
Mhm.
know, he didn't like you just hanging around and everything,
Or sleeping.
sleeping. Yeah, that's
Saturdays.
basically
It'd be a
sleeping. Yeah.
Saturday, and he said it's too late. Get up.
Mhm.
It's like you don't have to anything to do. He just you don't need to sleep. When you get older, you have plenty of time to sleep. Get up.
Yeah.
Get up. He just believed in that. Yeah.
Mhm. And so, what do you think he was most proud of from his military service?
Hmm.
Good
Well,
question.
I think he was at least proud of the connections
Mm-hmm.
that he had made with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that helped him well all the way through and beyond.
Mhm.
Those connections that he made with people.
Mm-hmm. And his contributions.
Yeah.
Did he pass down lessons or advice during his time in the military, based on his time in the military?
Well, yeah, he did pass down some some good advice. I think
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to getting along with all people.
Work ethic.
Yeah, you're not going to be around just black people. You're going to be around all kinds of people. So you got to know how to get along with folk. I think that was a contribution. I'll never forget when we were stationed at Offutt Air Force Base, and we went to my older brother and I. We went to the high school, and I think at that high school there was about 8 black kids, and we were there, and it's kind of hard to fit in because you had a lot of folk who didn't want us to be there, but he told us how to hang in there, and how to really excel, and by excelling, uh, people were more accepting. I know that I was, told to excel in education in whatever class, and well, they put me in the top of the class, and a lot of the kids there who were white thought I shouldn't have been in there, but I but I worked very hard, and made sure that I kept everything up to an A level and all of that, and so, you know, that helped.
So when future generations of your family hear about your father's service, what do you hope they understand and remember?
Well, I hope they will remember that this is our country and that we should honor
Yep.
the flag that we said we would uphold. I think they'll understand that. He wanted us to know that we contributed, you know, and that this is our country. We're not Nigerians. We're not Ugandans. Okay, we are Americans.
African Americans.
Okay, yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing these memories. Your perspective helps to keep your parents' story alive, not just as a veteran, but as a whole person and a family member.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd love to have you come and share, photos and memorabilia if you have any, at the exhibit that's going to be March 21st and 22nd. And in the meantime, I'd also like to gather some photos from you that we can have on display
Okay.
of your father. So I'm not.
All right.
Oh, look. Garage.
Yeah, yeah. Debbie would have to do that because I'm not too much of a picture person, and I don't know where my pictures are because we moved so many times, and you know, well, she'll handle it.
I have mom's stuff, so I should be able to find something.
All righty. Thank you.